Okay, I have a few things to discuss, not to discuss lah, to some housekeeping to do. Number one is about your midterm exam. Okay, it will be tomorrow at 9. And question will be posted in my guru under online quiz too. You're going to have 40 multiple choice questions, including calculations. So you have 1.5 hours to complete the exam. And because here you don't have to upload anything, you just answer there. And the answer will be captured there because it is a multiple choice question. But please keep to the time. Saya tak nak nanti dekat-dekat nak habis time baru kata, oh tak sempat siap lah, itulah inilah. Dia takkan sempat siap if you jumpa satu soalan, you cari jawapan dalam nota. Jumpa satu soalan, cari jawapan. Memang tak sempat lah. You have to do it as if kita buat exam face to face ni. Right, that's for your midterm exam. And for the group assignment, for the draft of group assignment, saya checked that as of today, only 3 groups yang submit the draft. I have extended the due date for the draft because kalau ikutkan the due date is tomorrow, since you all have exam tomorrow. So I've extended until Saturday, Sunday. So please keep up to the time because once you reach the deadline, you cannot submit the draft anymore. There's marks for the draft assignment as well. And for the draft, please make sure that you include the outline of your topic, okay? And also the proof or evidence that you are doing it in group. I need some proof of group discussion, but like what we have so far. Maybe the screenshot or screenshot of your Google Meet session, screenshot of your WhatsApp chat, anything to prove that you are actually discussing. Okay. Okay, sebab you all group A hantar banyak juga. I have 5 or 6 group B yang baru 3. Okay, so for today, we will continue. Number 1 is you remember the Vincent Chin question, the one that I asked you to do last week. Buat tak? Alright, so this is the question that I asked you to do, but you have to exclude part 1 and part 2 because this is related to business income. Okay, so we have note number 3 until habis lah. And here you have to compute the tax payable for Vincent Chin and his wife under separate assessment, which means you have to compute one tax computation for Vincent and one tax computation for Patricia. Alright, so when you have this kind of question, you have to start with, because business income is section 4A, so here you have to start with section 4B, whereby he has, dia ada salary tak dekat sini? Tak ada, dia ada bonus, bonus and also compensation for loss of employment, and also dividend, royalties, dividend, interest, and you have additional information here about the personal relief of Vincent. So he is married to Patricia, tax resident, physically disabled after suffering a stroke. They have 3 child, 2 of their own, 2 unmarried and 1 legally adopted. Okay, and the eldest son Robin pursuing engineering degree in the US. The daughter pursuing degree course in Taiwan. Okay, and Vincent spent a certain amount of books for which she is able to produce receipts. He contributed to the EPF at 11% and paid life insurance of 2,200. Okay, now you are going to do tax computation for your assessment 2018. So you have to look at the relief for 2018. Jangan tengok tahun lain lah, because 2018, if you're doing assessment 2018, we have to look at the table for the personal relief only for your assessment 2018. Okay, and then we know here under this information, Vincent owns a bungalow in Damansara, which he rents out for 8,000 per month. Okay, he incurred 34,000 on interest on mortgage, fire insurance, and also assessment and quick rent. He spent 5,002 on electrical and plumbing repairs and 40,000 on extending the kitchen. Right, so from here you have to find out how much is the adjusted income for rental, because we have all these allowable and non-allowable expenses here. Okay, Vincent donated 5,000 cash to an approved Malaysian charitable institution. He received bank interest of 14,000 from a joint account with Patricia, held with a local bank, and Patricia also received 70,000 annuity income, and she made cash donation of 1,000 to an approved local charitable organisation. Okay, for Patricia, the information or the income dia hanya yang ni je, dia ada 70,000 annuity and ada cash donation to an approved local charitable organisation. Alright, let's look at the solution here. Kita tengok untuk Patricia dulu because Patricia dia tak ada apa Let's look at the wife first. Okay, so for Patricia, first of all, the bank interest from a joint account ni is exempted lah. Alright, so the bank interest, walaupun dia kata interest from a joint account, so untuk both Patricia and Vincent, I expect you to write down the bank interest ni for each one of them. And then annuity 70,000. Okay, so that will give us aggregate income of 70,000, and she made a 1,000 donation. So this is her total income. Right, really for Patricia, 9,000, and she is a disabled person. Kita nampak tadi dia physically disabled. So further deduction 6,000, so the relief is only 15,000. So the child relief semua dalam soalan ni kata, dalam soalan ni kita letak dekat Vincent lah. Normally kita letak the child relief to the father. Alright, so that will give us 54,000 chargeable income for Patricia. So look at the tax table tu, the scale rate table. First 50, 1,008. So balance 4,000 at 14%. So this is Patricia's tax payable. Dapat tak jawapan ni? Anyone? Ke tak buat ni? This is one thing that I hate about this online class ni. Kalau dalam kelas I can check one by one, but here selagi you all tak jawab, buat or tak buat, dapat or tak dapat, I don't know. Okay, dapat 2360. Because for Patricia is very straightforward, dia tak ada apa pun. Dia just annuity income and then donation, okay, and also relief ni je. So let's go back to Vincent Chin tadi. Right. So for Vincent Chin, we will start with section 4B. Saya kata untuk note number 1 and 2, the business income tu kita tak buat lagi lah. Okay, so start with section 4B. He has bonus of, lari habis sekejap saya betulkan. Okay. So bonus 12,000. The compensation for loss of employment ni is actually assessed in year 2017. So kita tak masuk dekat sini lah. It is already assessed in 2017 the compensation tu. Because dia dapat on 31st December 2017. Alright, dividend from Singapore exempt, dividend from Nestle exempt, interest from KBI exempt, bank interest from joint account pun exempted. So these are all exempted, but in your calculation untuk soalan yang kalau you have to show the calculation, you have to write down lah satu-satu ni. Alright, section 4B done. For C, for D, royalties. Dia ada royalties dekat sini, 25,000 in respect royalties from writing a book. So royalty dia tulis buku, so the exemption is 20,000. So 25 minus 20, that will give us 5,000 will be taxable. Alright, and then rental income. Okay, for rental income ni, previously when we did rental income, what we have is that we have to proportion the according to the timeline. Sometimes you get rental less than 1 year, but here it is mentioned that this Vincent, he rents out for 8,000 per month. Okay, so these are all considered as income for and income and expenses for 1 year. Alright, so for the rental income, 8,000 times 12, 96,000. Less all the allowable deductions. Repairs 5,002, mortgage interest 34, assessment and quick rent 1,004, fire insurance 2,006. The extension is the capital expenditure, so not allowed. So this will give us adjusted income from rental 52,800. Alright, so kita totalkan everything yang ada dekat sini. That will give us aggregate income of 69,800. Okay, for Vincent, he actually donated 5,000 cash to an approved Malaysian charitable institution. Alright, whenever you see the donation ni, macam Patricia tadi, tak apalah donation ni 1,000 je. So kita tahu kalau 1,000, even 1,000 pun you have to compare dengan 7%. So here donation dia is 5,000. But every time kita calculate this donation, you have to make sure that it is actually 7% from the aggregate income. It cannot be more than 7% of aggregate income. Right, so the aggregate income is 69,800, 7% from this figure, that will give us 4,886. So this is the maximum amount of donation that he can deduct. He cannot deduct 5,000 because it is actually more than 7%. Okay, so that will give us total income of 64,914. Any question? Saya sejukkan di sini. Any question tak sampai total income ni?
Saya tak ada.
Ada Dapat tak?
Betul.
Because here number, ya.
Kalau dividen ni, dia akan kira yang macam mana? Dividen daripada luar negara ke ataupun?
Tak ada. For dividend sekarang ni, dia bawa balik macam sekarang kan dividend from Singapore kan? Dia bawa balik dari Singapore. Ini pun tak kira kita kira exempted juga. Also all the dividend, even though dia bawa balik from overseas, memang exempted.
Oh, okay.
So dividend and interest, kalau ikutkan dividend and interest ni, whenever you have dividend and interest, memang dia exempted. Jarang kita jumpa yang taxable.
Oh, so nanti kita tulis tu exempted je lah.
So dia exempted.
Okay, terima kasih.
Okay, royalty semua yang lain okay. So let's look at the compensation. Yes, kalau compensation ni dia dapat in 2018, macam kita pernah buat sebelum ni lah, whatever you will be assessed in the year of receipt. So sekarang ni compensation dia dapat in 2017, sebab tu tak masuk dalam ni. If dia dapat in 2018, kita akan include dekat sini lah, the compensation Include the compensation and also kita kena minus the exemption kan. Kalau compensation tu, every completed year of business ada exemption. But here dia dapat last year, so tak masuk lah in our calculation. Okay, next let's look at the total personal relief. Okay, so dia sendiri 9,000, anak dia dua-dua orang belajar dekat universiti, so 8,000. So the legally adopted child 2,000. So this is legally adopted child and still at school. So the relief is 2,000 lah, walaupun anak angkat pun boleh legally adopted, asalkan legal. Lifestyle relief, dia beli buku tadi 1,007. National Education Savings 6,000. 6,000, mana dia kata dekat sini, 8,000 But for year assessment 2018, maximum is 6,000. Now yes, 8,000. That's why you have to be very careful with the year of assessment. Lain tahun, lain dia punya amount dia. So for National Education Savings 6,000, Parental Care. Alright, dia ada the father kan, Vincent's father, 75 years old, receive a pension of 1,200 a month. And stays with him in 2017. Okay. Alright, untuk yang ni he is entitled to parental care of 1,000. 500 dengan syarat siapa ingat apa syarat dia nak bagi untuk parental care ni? Ada 2 condition. You cannot simply nampak ada parents duduk dengan dia boleh letak parental care 1005. Sebab dia satu seorang. Sekarang dia ada father, sebab tu kita letak father je. Kalau father mother duduk dengan dia dan they fulfill the condition tu, father dapat 1,500, mother pun dapat 1,500. Okay, betul. For parental care, the age of the parent must be above 60 years old. And lagi satu, the income yang dia dapat tu cannot be more than 24,000. So sekarang income dia 1,200 dia sebulan. So less than that. So Vincent can claim lah 1,500. Okay. EPF and life. Okay. Sekarang ni kalau kita tengok dekat sini, life insurance dia 2,200. Untuk EPF is not straightforward given, but you are given the percentage of EPF which is 11%. So mana saya dapat 1,320 ni for EPF ni? Anyone? You all know this 2,200 ni from life insurance. So back in 2018, we can still combine EPF and also life insurance. Alright, what do you think? This 1,320 ni?
Daripada bonus package.
Alright, so 11% from the bonus dia. So dia dapat 1,320. Okay. Kalau dia ada salary, you kena kira sekali salary lah. But here dia tak ada salary, dia ada bonus je. So ambil 11% from the bonus, you will get 1,320. So total would be 3,520. SOXO dia bayar 620. But SOXO maximum is only 250. Okay, so kita dah kira the relief dia based on the total income tadi. 64,914, kita tolak lah dengan 39,970 the relief. That will give us 24,944 the chargeable income. This is actually without business income. So jawapan ni kalau you tengok the answer would be different kalau kita includekan dua-dua income ni. Sekarang ni dua income ni kita ignore je. Kita start dengan 4B. Alright, so from 4B, this is our answer, 24,944. Okay, ada soalan tak?
Kalau macam contoh kalau kita tak ikut relief 2018 memang akan salah jawapan dia.
Salah lah.
Okay.
Kenapa ikut relief tahun bila? 2019? 2020?
Sebab EPF dengan EPF.
EPF. EPF lah kan. EPF dengan this one, National Education Saving.
Dengan
yang ni kalau so yang ni kalau 2018 lain.
Maksudnya kalau dikira first kali kena tengok tahun assessment dia lah.
Ya, betul. So sekarang ni yang ni je assessment 2018, peduli lah yang lain-lain tu, just refer to 2018 sahaja. Even kalau exam pun kita memang bagi the personal relief. Kita bagi tak personal relief tu? Personal relief tak bagi rasanya. Kita bagi tax rate table je. So because untuk 2018 dengan 2019 ni dia ada beza sikit. 2019 dengan 2020 pun ada beza kan. So for year assessment 2020 lagi ada macam-macam lah. So you have to be careful dekat situ. Disabled wife tak boleh claim. No, this is separate assessment. Kalau combined assessment, yes. Sekarang kita kena buat 2 types of tax computation. One for the husband, one for the wife. Kalau satu combined assessment, the husband Vincent ni dia boleh claim lah disabled wife sebab wife dia disabled kan. Sekarang the wife tu yang claim sendiri. Jadi, nampak? Save 9,000. Vincent. Okay, Patricia. Save 9,000. Additional 6,000 sebab dia disabled. Okay, kalau kita buat combined assessment, yes. Dia takkan boleh, the husband boleh claim relief untuk wife dia sebab wife dia disabled. Kita tak banyak buat soalan format assessment. Kita ada satu je hari tu kan yang Nora Shikin dengan Mustafa tu kan. So you can refer to the question lah untuk tengok kalau kita buat combined assessment. So all the relief akan pergi di satu tempat je. Alright?
Okay, faham.
Okay, so kalau tak ada soalan, we can move on to, I think later lah for your revision nanti saya akan bagi few questions for you to try sebab nanti, because for this one ni kalau ikutkan the business income ni kita tinggal dulu you don't throw away the question, we will come back to this question nanti Vincent ni. Untuk Mr. Mahin hari tu dia tak ada business kan. So actually from one question it can be expanded. Mami claim disabled equipment boleh? Boleh? If let's say anak tu, dia ada anak yang disable and then dia buat separate assessment, dia adalah all the relief yang kita buat tu kan. So anak, the husband boleh claim untuk purchase of medical equipment tu boleh. The husband boleh claim, wife atau wife pun boleh claim. Dia bergantung kepada receipt tu nama siapa. Let's say the husband paid, the receipt under the husband's name, then for whatever relief yang kita kata medical, contoh yang let's say if kita buat separate assessment kan, ada medical expenses, ada purchase of untuk lifestyle tu kan, lifestyle relief tu, untuk purchase of medical equipment, itu semua bergantung kepada receipt tu nama siapa. Dia nama siapa receipt tu, orang tu yang akan claim the relief sepatutnya. Okay. So now kalau lah Patricia ni disable dan dia ada beli barang, dia boleh claim, dia boleh letak relief under dia sendirilah. The medical equipment tu dia sendiri boleh claim kalau dia sendiri ialah disable. Kalau dia tak claim, receipt under the husband's name, the husband can claim. Walaupun dia beli untuk wife dia dan wife dia separately assess Because this is where tax planning comes in So kita akan kira lah mana satu yang minimize the tax payable nanti. Right? Okay, next one, let's move on to the next topic, which is business taxation. So we have completed the personal taxation part. So kita nak tengok business income pula. So that we can go back to Vincent's Chin question ni untuk continue lah. And for business taxation example ni, if you look at your My Guru ada, saya tak ingat siapa tanya saya kat mana dia nak cari soalan yang kita buat Vincent Chin ni. For certain topics for example personal taxation, business income, you pergi dekat learning material tu, you klik dekat topik tu, dalam tu ada a few topic, ada a few material dalam tu. Bukan satu topik, satu material je. Satu topik, especially personal taxation satu topik tapi you have a lot of materials there. I even share with you the tax booklet for 2020 and 2021 daripada PwC. So I know not everyone ada buku tax but the tax booklet tu can help you juga So for this subject macam saya kata hari tu lah memang kalau ada buku lagi bagus lah. If you don't have textbook, satu you can refer to the tax booklet that I share in your My Guru tu di bawah personal taxation punya material And then you can also go to Lembaga Hasil website lah, baca all the public rulings. In fact, if you need more information about contohnya entertainment expenses, you need information about benefit in kind kan, table-table yang kita buat masa kita buat section 4B employment income tu. Right, under section 13(1)B tu kita ada benefit in kind kan. So ada satu public ruling dekat dalam Lembaga Hasil punya website. So dekat situ you boleh baca lah. Right? Ada sesiapa pernah godek-godek tengok ke the Lembaga Hasil website yang ada public ruling tu? Ke tak pernah? Sekejap let me show you this one. Okay, selingan sekejap. You all can see my screen kan? Okay. So this is the website hasil.gov.my. Dia ada English and also Malay. So kita boleh tengok English pun boleh Alright, so this is for individual. So let's say you want to know everything about tax relief. So buka tax relief, nampak tak? Year assessment 2020. This is the one that I share with you dalam portal juga. Saya dah share the material ni, saya dah upload dekat situ. So all the relief for year assessment 2020 ada sini. Nampak tak? So if you get confused, berapa relief dia, pergi je dekat sini. You can download pun. Year assessment 2019, so this is the relief dia. Nampak parent restricted to one mother, one father. Macam-macam lah dia cerita kat sini. So the lifestyle untuk beli apa, buku, journal, magazine, personal computer, smartphone, sport equipment, everything yang ada dalam notes pun ada dekat sini lah. So everything daripada notes tu semua datang daripada sini. And then disabled child ada, unmarried child, nampak? So all the details memang ada dekat sini lah. So you better bookmark this page, hasil.gov.my ni. And then for let's say untuk company, tak nak tengok kat sini lah. I want to show you the public ruling. Okay, legislation, Income Tax Act 1967. This is the whole act kalau you nak baca lah. Kalau nak lah kan. Semua benda ada dalam ni. And this is about public rulings yang saya kata tadi lah. For example, for public rulings ni, katakanlah we want to know about, nanti kita akan belajar taxation of trust. Nanti after raya nanti kan. So boleh buka dekat sini tengok. Apa nak tunjuk yang paling senang kita dah belajar. Resident give for contribution and allowable deduction. Okay, benefit in kind contohnya. So this is the table yang you all belajar dalam saya punya notes tu. This actually datang daripada sini lah. So this is the benefit in kind table. Okay, public ruling number 11 2019. Dalam ni dia cerita lah. Contohnya interpretation tak tengok lah. Employment tu apa. Nampak tak? Sama je dengan dalam notes because daripada whatever in the notes tu memang kita ambil daripada sini lah. Okay, so this is the benefit in kind. Contohnya okay, cerita pasal motorcar provided between office lah, rumah, example pun ada. And then, apa lagi? Okay, dia ada example dalam ni lah. Example dia, this is how we prorate lah. Kalau dia guna tak sampai setahun kan, motorcar dia bila, petrol dia bila. Okay. And then about the, kalau driver provided macam mana, petrol without car macam mana. So the household furnishings. Banyaklah. Sampailah bawah ni table dia. Ada benefit, recreational club apa semua. So if you get confused kalau baca kenapa macam tu, macam ni kan gardener berapa, 4008, corporate membership, individual membership. So different This is the value, the table tu memang datang daripada sini lah, daripada public rulings. So you have to read the text together, the act together with the public rulings lah. Okay, so ada a lot of things. Contoh macam resident status. Okay, untuk resident status pun dia ada public ruling dia. Resident status, public ruling September 2019. Dia update. Sometimes kalau you tengok the word original tu, macam tadi saya klik kan, dia adalah original. Maknanya dia lama. Dia daripada, kalau ikutkan kan 2011 lah, first edition 2011. Lepas tu dia revise sampailah dia ada yang baru. So interpretation apa semua. So don't worry, if you don't have textbook, you still have the public rulings that will help you understand detail lah. Okay, so the website is hasil.gov.my. So dalam tu boleh lah tengok-tengok apa yang boleh tengok. Alright, so let's continue with business income. Alright, so kalau tengok daripada awal kita buat taxation for individual. So this is about business, which is under section 4A. So kita dah buat B, C, D, E, F. So this is 4A. And alright, so what constitute business income? Okay, so dalam ni it is mentioned that business includes profession, vocation, and trade for every manufacturer. Adventure or concern in the nature of trade but exclude employment. So employment will be taxed under different section, different section. So let's look at the first one, profession. The meaning of profession refers to a person using his intellectual or manual skill to obtain the end product. So a doctor or painter in the arts field would qualify in this regard as a professional. Okay, so just like a lawyer having his own legal practice, a profession. It can be a business income. Vocation, career or occupation. Okay. So the vocation ni can be business or employment based on circumstances. So tengoklah apa yang that whether it will be classified as business ataupun employment. Kalau dia tak masuk dalam definition employment, dia akan jadi business income. And also trade. Trade of course lah. Trade ialah series of transaction, continuity and repetition of buying and selling. Nampak tak? Dua dekat atas ni tak ada buying and selling. Macam lawyer ada own firm kan. Doktor dia buka klinik dia sendiri. So tak ada buying and selling kan. Dia lebih kepada service. But for trade ni dia ialah buying and selling lah. Even there is only one transaction, it may be held in the nature of trade where such gain would be chargeable to tax, as the definition of business actually includes venture or concern in the nature of trade. Okay. So untuk trade ni kita ada, because kita Malaysia ni kita banyak follow UK Commonwealth country kan. So kita ada what we call a badges of trade. So badges of trade ni is to help us determine whether income derived is trade income ataupun business income ataupun tidak. So because in fact now kita ada lagi macam-macam jenis income kan yang sometimes lembaga hasil pun confused or they have to do research kan whether benda tu will be taxed under business income or not. So the Radcliffe Commission UK ni they actually listed 6 badges of trade. So this one will help us determine whether income tu business income ataupun tak. Okay. So the first one is subject matter. Apa yang kita buat tu, the thing that you trade tu, the income generate, is it an income generating or for personal enjoyment to owner? Alright, contoh let's say you beli kereta, after 2-3 years you want to sell because you want to buy a new car. Itu bukan income generating lah, itu personal enjoyment kan. So that will not be considered as trade. To some extent, itu bukan trade lah, itu just tukar kereta. And then that is not the business income for you. Alright, period of ownership, so at least 5 years to be considered as badges of trade ni. And frequency of transaction, repeated, similar, less than 3 transaction per year. Okay, so for this one, especially for a business, mana ada business yang transaction ni 3 je per year kan. So it may be more than 3 in a year kan. So the frequency also will help us to determine whether it is a trade income ataupun tidak. Supplementary work on asset. Okay, sometimes kita tengok orang ni, okay, dia beli rumah. Okay, beli rumah tapi untuk investment, simpan je rumah tu kan, orang sewa simpan je. Tapi sometimes dia beli rumah dan some people dia boleh renovate, dia buat cantik-cantik so that bila dia nak jual nanti harga tu akan jadi lagi mahal. So the supplementary work on asset tu can also be determined lah. Itu ialah business income. Set up to dispose of goods, whether it is ad hoc or proper setup. Macam tadi jugalah you do something untuk jual certain barang tu, if it is considered a proper setup, itu ialah it can be considered as business income. And also the motive for the transaction, is it short term or long term. So kalau short term biasanya memang untuk profit making lah. So profit making dia akan masuk under kategori business income. Okay, 3 additional badges of trade. This is actually from case law. So kalau tengok for income tax ni, kita ada income tax, kita ada public rulings dan kita juga ada tax case law. Okay, so those are actually circumstances around the transaction, kita akan tengok juga. And also profit motive as factor, alright, and intention to trade lah. What is the intention to trade? Okay, so this is example. Kita boleh tengok example dekat sini because we want to know whether this income is actually business income ataupun tidak.
Prof,
Yep.
kiranya yang ni dia tak subject dekat income tax sebab dia tak ada intention nak jual
Sebab dia kalau kita tengok dekat sini kan, dia ada property, okay, tapi no intention to sell, just untuk investment, untuk rental je kan. Tapi 2017 tu dia sakit and dia perlukan duit. So dia jual property for 1 million, original cost was 450,000. So kita dapat dia ada untung dekat sini kan. So here you have to state whether the profit is subject to income tax in 2018. So kita kata the gain would not be subject to tax lah, if there is no element of trading. So kat sini lah no intention to sell, unless dia ada rumah banyak dan dia asyik jual beli je kan. Itu dia kena tax lah kalau macam tu. That's why kita balik kepada sini lah tadi intention to trade ni, additional badges of trade. Because this one sometimes lembaga hasil dia perlukan the guidelines lah untuk assess some people. Macam kalau ni intention kan, this is actually anybody can say kan, oh saya tak ada intention nak jual pun tapi terpaksa jual, you know. Tapi this will actually help untuk determine. So in this case tak kena tax Mutual transaction, mutuality principle rests on two concepts. Satu, a person cannot trade with himself. Tak boleh jual barang dekat diri sendiri And the surplus of contribution over expenditure cannot be income for tax purposes. So, kalau tengok dekat bawah ni, this is actually case law. Sometimes dia tak ada dalam act, tak ada. Tapi dia gunakan case law sebagai just to help. Okay, nanti boleh baca. Alright, illegal activities. Okay, one thing about section 4A ni, business income ni, it does not distinguish between a legal and illegal income. Let's say the income is actually from gambling pun. Dia tak kata income from gambling tu maybe to some extent maybe illegal. Walaupun gambling tu illegal, tapi income dapat daripada gambling tu still kena tax. Dengan syarat dia kata activity carry on tu has the characteristic of a business. Then the income will be assessed under section 4A. Notwithstanding its illegal or immoral character. So they don't care illegal or not. Alright, what about hobbies, gambling and etc. Hobbies, gambling ni, sometimes hobby orang ni, hobby dia, I don't know, maybe dia suka collect barang and barang-barang antik and then dia jual So bila dia jual beli itu ialah hobi, tapi bila dah banyak-banyak sangat barang-barang antik yang dia beli dan jual, maybe it will give him or her certain type of profit kan. Kalau lah apa yang itu ialah, walaupun dia kata hobi dia ada kerja lain, tapi itu hobi dia collect barang antik dan jual balik kan. But if it can be shown that what was done is a business, maknanya dia ada proper setup, dia ada proper booth untuk orang datang tengok barang dia untuk beli kan. So in the nature of trade, so itu diconsider sebagai business income lah. Termasuklah gambling So kalau gambling yang suka-suka je tu, but please don't gamble it's not good for the mental health as well gambling ni. If the gambling is done out of hobbies je, mungkin the income dia dapat tak kena tax lah. But the gambling tu dia proper setup, dia ada orang yang tolong tengok all the trend apa semua kan. So that somehow can be considered as business income. Sama juga dengan speculator, dengan orang yang main yang share trading kan. Kalau share trading ni, kalau lah dia ada proper orang yang monitor the share trading dia, they do it properly, itu can be considered as business income. Tapi kalau setakat suka-suka je beli share, jual share ni, itu tak adalah just hobbies. Ada penyakit boleh jadi ke? Still no intention to sell. Kalau no intention to sell, sepatutnya tak kena profit lah. Tak kena profit pula, tak kena tax lah. Okay. Okay, inilah tadi trading in shares tadi. So kita nak tahu, is it a trade or adventure in the nature of trade? So the lembaga hasil, the TGIR will take into account the following factors. Satu, nature of occupation of individual. Okay, kalau kerja dia memang broker saham, then tak kena tax lah, because itu kerja dia. Is he a speculator? Right, so kita dah belajar last semester buat speculator kan. So is he a speculator? Kalau kerja dia memang speculate je, mungkin itu ialah occupation dia juga. And the background of the taxpayer, and there is a possibility of insider trading. Okay, dia ada information daripada ada insider information lah. So itu boleh consider sebagai business income juga If he holds himself as a dealer in stocks and shares, if his share operations are organized, does he have expert acquaintance with computer technology? Okay, so kalau ada yang ni, kita boleh kata dia ialah inilah trade lah and the income will be considered as business income. Okay, Liming versus Jones, ini pun case law. Okay, trade test for the positive existence of trade should incorporate 3 factors. But yeah, another thing is that kita boleh katalah all these factors ni semua considered as business income, but if an individual they don't declare, then the IRB wouldn't know lah. Okay, but theoretically kalau kita ikut buku, technically if kita nak decide whether there is an existence of trade, untuk trading in shares ni, one must be organisation, special skill and also subject matter lending itself to commercial transactions. Okay, mesti ada ni lah, macam tadi saya katakan, dia ada skill, dia so organised, dia memang ada orang yang monitor the trading of shares tu. At the same time, the badges of trade ni yang tadi kita tengok awal-awal tadi tu, 6 plus 3 tu, okay, it must be applied to the above factors juga. What about trading in shares for companies? Okay, tadi untuk individual ini untuk individual. Untuk company, okay, so everybody knows that companies are formed with a view of making profits, so it make it difficult to prove that their share transactions are merely investments. Okay, kita kata oh ini investment je, tak boleh lah, because kita tahu to some extent company ni memang the objective is to make profit. So in this case for trading of shares for companies, according to this, they follow juga the case law Liming versus Jones test tu lah, yang 3 tadi tu. Okay. A grant, okay, kalau dapat grant, tengok juga to determine the main purpose of the grant. So kalau the grant tu dapat untuk bantu or perform his trading operation more profitably, then it will be tax. Alright, so that's basically the definition of business income that we need to know before we move on to the computation. Alright, so for charge to income tax, so kita tahu this is under section 3, charge under charge to income tax section 3, and this is actually for income shall be charged for each year of assessment upon the income of any person occurring in or derived from Malaysia or received in Malaysia from outside Malaysia. Okay. Gross income in certain cases not attributable to operation of business carried on outside Malaysia shall be deemed derived from Malaysia. Okay, so these are the conditions to make sure or to ensure that business income is actually deemed to be derived from Malaysia. Dia senang clear cut kalau business tu di Malaysia, kedai dekat Malaysia, walaupun kepada customer di Malaysia, for sure itu ialah income derived from Malaysia. Okay, kedai dekat Malaysia, customer pun Malaysian customer. The profit that you get is actually income derived from Malaysia. In some cases, tak macam tu katakanlah you ada kedai dekat or the company based in Singapore, right? Based in Singapore, but you sell product to customer in Singapore and also customer to in Malaysia. Dan di Malaysia ada office juga. So kalau macam ni kita nak kena tahulah income yang dia dapat tu, is it taxable in Singapore or taxable in Malaysia. So now we want to know whether the income yang dia dapat tu deemed to be derived from Malaysia. For example, satu, contract concluded in Malaysia. They sign contract tu dekat Malaysia. So itu satu. The business tu, the contract concluded in Malaysia, which means they will be taxed in Malaysia. Stocks maintained in Malaysia for which orders are fulfilled. Okay. Yang ni dia ada warehouse in Malaysia. Tadi kan Singapore company tapi warehouse dia dekat Malaysia. Semua barang-barang hantar from Malaysia office. Biasa kita tengok macam tu kan, head office dia kat tempat lain. Tapi di Malaysia dia ada gudang. So barang-barang dia semua keluar dari gudang from Malaysia. Itu pun dikira sebagai income derived from Malaysia. Ownership and risk passes in Malaysia. Dijual dekat customer in Malaysia. Taxable in Malaysia. Sale proceed received in Malaysia, dapat sale proceed di Malaysia, then itu consider sebagai derived from Malaysia, and also service rendered in Malaysia. Ini macam tadi lah, kedai kat Malaysia, customer pun Malaysian kan, so memang derived from Malaysia. Okay, So untuk yang ni kita ada satu example here. So untuk yang ni, katakan this company dia ada branch dekat Hong Kong. Okay. Goods were shipped from Malaysian office to the Hong Kong branch at a cost of 150,000 plus a markup of 15,000. Okay, maknanya dia jual, cost dia ialah 150,000. Okay, tapi dia jual pada harga markup 15,165,000 dia jual pada harga 165,000. And dia jual dekat Hong Kong branch. Hong Kong branch pula jual dekat customer 200,000. Okay, soalan dia di sini, how much was derived from Malaysia and subject to tax in Malaysia? So dekat sini kita hanya nak tengok whatever done in Malaysia je. Okay, so sekarang cost dia 150. So dia jual pada harga markup of 10%. So dia jual, dia punya selling price dia ialah 150,000 plus 15,000. Okay, which is 165,000. So untung dia hanyalah ini je. Taxable in Malaysia 15,000 je. Whatever amount yang Hong Kong jual 200,000 ni will be taxed in Hong Kong. Maknanya sekarang ni Hong Kong dapat pada harga 165 kan, tapi Hong Kong tu jual 200. So untung the difference between 200 and 165 ni Hong Kong yang akan charge tu beza dia. Sebab sekarang dia ada branch dekat Hong Kong, tapi kalau saya buat dekat bawah ni, katakanlah dia tak ada branch dekat Hong Kong. Dia jual terus kepada customer di Hong Kong. Nampak tak? Selling price dia ialah 200,000. Cost dia ialah 150,000. So dia untung 50,000. So 50,000 ni will be taxable in Malaysia. Kalau dia tak ada branch dekat Hong Kong, dia terus jual directly daripada Malaysia ni. Dia jual terus dekat customer di Hong Kong. Sekarang ni example ni dia ialah di Malaysia. Dia jual dulu dekat Hong Kong branch. Betul tak? Dia jual dekat Hong Kong branch. Hong Kong branch tu jual pula dekat customer di Hong Kong. Okay. So kalau macam ni, yang tadi tak ada branch ni, profit ni ialah taxable dekat Malaysia lah. Tapi dekat sini, bahagian ni je yang taxable dekat Malaysia. Malaysia pergi Hong Kong branch, bukan pergi ke customer. Boleh faham tak?
Prof, saya macam confused sikit yang 10% tu.
Okay.
10% tu taxable kat Malaysia sebab
No, bukan. Dia taxable not the 10%, the different, the profit dia lah. Sebab sekarang ni cost dia 150, kan? Dia jual dekat Hong Kong tu, dia jual dekat Hong Kong branch, dia markup 10% kan? So 10% from 150 is 15,000. So yang dia markup the profit, ini ialah profit dia lah, betul tak? Dia jual dekat Hong Kong tu 165, cost dia 150 kan? Profit dia ialah 15,000. Profit dia 15,000. Ini yang taxable kat Malaysia. Boleh? Sebab ayat dia kat sini dia kata markup 10%. Kalau biasanya if let's say you dapat soalan, sekejap saya tambah, kita tambah another example dekat sini. Katakanlah you ada, let's say Malaysia dengan Singapura. Okay, ini ialah Malaysia, ini ialah Singapura. Katakan cost dia 200,000. Barang dia 200,000. Dia sold to branch pada harga 230,000. 230,000. Okay. So Singapura ni dia dapat barang tu 230,000. Tapi dia jual dekat customer dia pada harga 280,000. So nampak tak? So sekarang ni profit dekat Malaysia ni 30,000. Betul? Profit dekat Singapura ialah 50,000 lah. Okay. Profit ni will be taxed in Malaysia. Profit ni will be taxed in Singapore. Nampak tak? Sama je lah dengan yang tadi ni. Because sekarang kita ada branch di tengah-tengah. Kalau dia
So
terus
dia
masuk
ada dua kali traffic, dua kali tax ni untuk satu barang tu.
yes, 2 kali tax. Betul. Satu 30,000 will be tax di Malaysia. Lagi 50 ni will be tax in Singapore. Tapi kalau macam tadi kalau dia terus dekat Malaysia, dia terus jual. Sekarang ni sebab ada branch ni, nampak tak? Bila ada branch di Singapore, barang belum sampai customer pergi branch tu, dekat branch tu dia dah kena tax dah. Itu dah ada profit sebab of course dia tak jual barang dekat branch tak ada profit kan. Takkan dia nak jual pada harga cost, dia akan jual pada harga yang ada untung lah. So the profit tu taxable in Malaysia. Tapi kalau Malaysia dia terus pergi kepada customer in Singapore, katakanlah cost dia 200,000, dia jual dekat customer Singapore 280,000 kan. Okay, so katakanlah kat sini harga dia 200, dia jual dekat customer ni 280,000. Kata kita tolak terus lah. Dia terus jual 280, tak ada branch kat sini So profit dia ialah sama juga kalau ikutkan total dia tahu 80,000. Tapi 80,000 ni will be tax in Malaysia. Kalau dihantar ke branch, dia kena profit 30,000 je dekat Malaysia. Tu beza ada branch dengan tak ada branch. Tapi dia kena tax, dia total dia nampak, total dia sama tak? 80 juga. If dia jual harga ni lah, kalau harga sama lah. Boleh? Because now we want to know how much it will be taxed in Malaysia. Kalau dia ada branch. So ini, because ini kita nak tengok income derived from Malaysia Ini semua ni kena bayar tax macam biasa kecuali kalau you all refer to notes yang awal-awal dulu tu, I think chapter 1 kot kan. Dia company yang kena tax on a world income scope ni hanyalah banking, insurance, sea and air transport je. Kalau bisnes-bisnes lain ni tak ada Kalau yang insurance apa semua tu dia biasanya satu je lah. Dia kata world income scope dia bukan macam ni. Alright, so kita nak tengok date commencement of business pula. Oh, dah ada jawapan dekat sini. Right. Okay, satu lagi another thing is that we need to know also the commencement date of the business because we want to know the basis period sebab bila kita tahu basis period dia, kita tahulah the assessment year dia bila So it is important to determine the actual commencement date for several reasons. First is to determine the basis period in relation to the assessment year, to identify the expenditure incurred before the date of commencement, to identify capital expenditure incurred, and to allow capital allowance against the business income in relation to relevant assessment year. Okay, so general guide, macam ni kita nak tahu bisnes sudah berjalan ke tak kan. Sometimes bisnes ni adalah construction, baru beli tanah, baru beli raw materials, bangunan tak buat lagi. Bisnes dah on ke belum the business tu dah commence or not. Or sometimes you ada kedai, dah beli stok, dah letak barang dekat rumah lagi, belum bawa pergi kedai lagi. Bisnes dah start ke belum. So we want to know the exact date tu because we want to know the year of assessment that the business will be taxed. Okay, so generally when it embarks on activity directly related to the generation of income for the business or when everything is in place for the activity to commence. Semua dah ready so kita boleh kata siap untuk business lah So I also supply to you the kita kata act or activity lah part of a series of acts that are actively carried out undertaken in the course of business. Ni contoh dia. Example dia. Acquisition of a business. Let's say you acquire another business. So kita nak tahu bila commencement date of the business tu. So the date the existing business is acquired. So very straightforward lah kalau acquire business, date dia kan. Hotel. Okay, kita tahu kalau hotel dia nak kena siapkan bilik, siapkan restoran kalau ada kan, lobby lah, swimming pool lah, banyak benda. So kalau untuk hotel, biasanya the date the hotel is open to the public. Baru dikira business tu start. Selagi dia tak buka dekat public, business belum start Manufacturer, okay, dia manufacture barang. The date raw materials are purchased. Okay, plantation, the date the seeds are sown or seedlings planted. Okay, business kelapa sawit dah start tanam benih dah, itu dah kira business dah start. Property developer, the date the land is purchased. Beli tanah tu dah dikira Construction, the date the land is leveled. Okay, satu example dekat sini. can you decide when is the commencement date of the business for this company? The manufacturer.
February.
Okay. Any other dates? Ada banyak date kat situ tu kan? Ada 6 tu. Which one? February bukan Not the production of electrical tools tu.
December. 1 December.
December December sebab kalau manufacturer kita kata the date materials are purchased, but here kita tak ada tarikh material dia purchase kan, tapi kita ada tarikh material dia sampai. So anything to do with the raw materials, which means the business is ready to commence lah. Dia dah beli raw material, dia dah start buat kan. So raw material sampai tu dah dikira sebagai commencement date tak semestinya dia dah produce, dah jual lagi letak Okay. Ni dia lagi satu soalan. So can you decide when is the commencement date?
Of March. March.
Ya ke March?
Ke April.
April tak ada. Mana satu Tengok dekat sini dia adalah supermarket Supermarket is a retail business So in February dia kata dia sign tenancy agreement. Dia beli barang, dia recruit staff semua, ini belum lagi commencement date sebab dia adalah retail dia tak boleh jual apa-apa lagi, barang pun tak ada lagi. So retail stock arrived toward the end of March and were arranged on the shelf. Pun tak start lagi business dia sebab dia supermarket. Supermarket was open to the public on 1st April 2019. So bila dia buka tu baru kira commencement of the business. Baru dia ready untuk jual because if you go back to ini tadi balik the general guide, everything is in place for the activity to commence. Okay, so it is actually 1st of February. Alright, new business or continuation of an existing business. Okay, it is also important sebab kita nak kira capital allowance nanti So untuk capital allowance kita ada satu topik nanti. Each case has to be decided on its own facts and circumstances. So whether dealings are influenced by other department, management, trading activity under separate management or accounting methods or separate accounts are maintained. So this is what we have to consider for this one. Okay, kalau business pun dah berhenti cessation of business, winding down of business pun important juga sebab whatever income yang dapat after the winding down of the business, that will be a capital Siapa tengah tumbuk sambal ni? Abang lagi masak ke? Alright, advance receipt. Ini macam rental lah. Advance rental will be receipt in the year, will be tax in the year of receipt. Okay, sama juga dengan untuk business lah. Any sum received in the course of carrying out business should duly subject to tax in that year. Okay. Despite the fact that no debt has arisen yet, services have not been rendered or property has not been used or enjoyed yet. Right, sometimes dia dapat deposit kan? Ataupun dapat untuk servis belum provide lagi tapi orang dah bayar duit. Bayar tahun ni, servis provided next year. But the income will be taxed this year walaupun servis tu belum buat lagi So examples of advance receipt of income, mobile phone prepaid credit, stock value card, lampu tak cenggu, annual subscription paid in advance to take advantage of discount given. ticket or vouchers, airline, football season ticket, concert, beauty treatment. Banyak kita dapat voucher dulu tapi kita belum guna kan. Tapi orang tu, the seller tu dah dapat duit. So dia tu kena tax pada tahun yang dia dapat income tu sold in advance. Okay. Tapi security deposit and return deposit, ni macam kita buat rental income. Ingat tak kita ada refundable deposit lah kan. Itu will not be treated as income. So not subject to tax when received sebab dia refundable kan. Deposit yang refundable ni tak kena tax lah because you have to return. That is not the income. Bukan income kita. Trading in, trading with. Ini semua ayat-ayat law ni So trading with, trading in ni. Kalau ada physical presence in Malaysia, clearly establish the carrying out of business is in Malaysia. Macam tadi lah Because company trade in Malaysia liable to tax on the income derived from that trade especially kalau ada the right physical present. So sekarang ni, the test is not whether the profit arose from business carried on in Malaysia, but it is actually the operations tu. Kalau macam tadi lah, kalau tengok example ni tadi, mana tadi? Yang about the warehouse tu kan. Mana? Okay, ni. Kata kalau office semua dekat Singapore, order semua ambil dekat Singapore tapi barang tu simpan dekat Malaysia. So bila dia order from Singapore, barang tu keluar dari Malaysia pergi Singapore. Kalau macam ni dia will be taxed in Malaysia. Okay, balik kepada yang ni lah. Tadi. Alright, operations tu. Okay, business tu dia operate dekat mana. So factors to be considered in determining if a business is carried on in Malaysia. Ini macam tadi jugalah place where contract are executed. Place where the business operation from which the profit in substance arose. Title of the goods passed from seller to buyer or the proceed of sale are received. Okay. Ada tak for business income? Okay, yang ni pun susah juga because this is different or we can say that sometimes it can be a new type of business income. Income from e-commerce. Okay, so those yang letak barang dekat Shopee, Lazada semua tu, some of them dia tak ada kedai pun kan. Dia letak dia barang dekat situ dan barang dia simpan dekat rumah dia je. So itu dikira sebagai e-commerce trading. And then guidelines on taxation on electronic commerce, ada Aggregate guideline, itu masuk dalam business income. Income from letting the property. Okay, ini under Public Ruling number 12 2018. So if you remember when we do the rental income part itu, section 4D itu, kita katakan the rental income yang dia dapat tu and then the service dia tak ada provide any service, it's just that the repair and maintenance. Kalau macam tu itu masuk under section 4D rental income. Okay. Tapi kalau you provide rental but at the same time you provide maintenance or support service, let's say rental income of service apartment, complete semua orang datang service dan maintenance kan, in relation to the property. Tak ada repair sikit-sikit, semua benda buat sendiri tak ada. Maintenance and support service semua provided. Itu consider under section 4A, itu akan jadi business income, bukan rental income. Kalau rental income tak ada buat apa-apa lah. Kalau maintenance or support service ni, dia for example macam hotel kan, ataupun service apartment. So everything dia buat, sampah dia ambil buang. Ini kalau you sewa rumah, sampah kena buang sendiri kan. Ini sampah dia ambil buang dekat your lobby semua tu dia cuci, dia kemas. Macam hotel lah ada room service apa semua tu. Itu biasanya will be tax under section 4A bukan 4D. Kalau tak ada semua tu bagi sewa je, macam tu je duduk bayar sewa je every month. Habis-habis pun datang repair bumbung, repair tiles je. Itu adalah under section 4D rental income. Okay, interest income and also loan or advances to a director by a company. Interest income ni macam Along lah kan, company-company yang macam tu they provide loan and then the income dalam bentuk interest. Itu pun consider sebagai business income. Saya nak go back to Vincent Chin ni, tapi bila tengok balik dekat sini, dalam ni dah ada balancing charge and capital allowance. Perlu tak? Masih tak perlu. Because for Vincent Chin ni, if you look at the solution dia, ataupun if you go back to the question Vincent Chin tu, dia ada dua business. Dia ada bookshop and restaurant. the thing is, apa yang kita buat dekat untuk tajuk business income ni is the adjusted income ni. Sekarang ni yang ni, this part ni saya belum ajar lagi, you belum belajar the part untuk adjusted income ataupun loss ni. Because kita akan start dengan net profit dia, tolak sana tambah sini, baru dapat this amount But for business century, dia dah ada capital allowance semua dah. So untuk this one, saya ingat business century ni kita skip je lah dulu. Saya dah discuss dengan group yang hari Selasa tu group A, tapi you all group apa, you all group A, sana group B. Saya macam tak sesuai. Skip dulu lah. Alright, some exercise for you. Multiple choice je, saya bagi dekat sini. Can you try? Question 1 and 2 ada lagi 2 soalan lepas tu. Alright, what do you think? Number 1. A, B, C or D? Alright, number 1, what is the answer?
D
Okay. Includes cash receipt from sale of goods or from services provided, yes. All that's incurred from sale of goods and services provided, yes. Receipt in kind, yes. And recovery of bad debt pun, yes. So jawapan dia D. Semua tu ialah gross business income. Termasuklah recovery of bad debt ni. Nanti bila kita buat the total calculation of business income, nanti kita akan tengoklah kenapa recovery of debt ni pun consider sebagai business income juga. Number 2, not a batch of trade. Which one? C, profitability of the transaction. Motive, frequency and period of ownership is batch of trade. Number 3, unlikely to indicate the existence of trade. Which one? Number 3.
A.
A, semua setuju A.
Betul A.
Unlikely to indicate existence of trade. Sell his house to pay for his son education abroad. B tu memang tak lah because sell his house when there is a high demand for properties. And C, needs money to pay off his huge debt. Build a swimming pool in his property so he can get a higher sales price. Itu pun nampak trading. So jawapan dia A. Number 4, commencement date for luxury hotel. A, B, C or D?
B. Good.
A. Good. Okay, dekat chat ni ada B, ada D. Salah lah. Not B, not D. It's C. Hotel rooms are ready for guests to stay but the restaurant is not ready. Doesn't matter. Yang penting hotel untuk bilik kan. So room to ready, dia dah kira boleh commence the business dah. Which is on 11 of September 2017. Yang B tu dia begins advertising je about its opening. Dia bukan belum buka lagi, dia baru advertise. Okay, so not B or D. Alright, ini baru business income apa yang kita nak buat. Okay, lagi satu tadi saya lupa nak beritahu. Dalam notes under business taxation, business income and business deduction ni, I've shared with you one question. Ada satu example sumbang elektronik. So that would be the calculation yang kita akan buat nanti when we finish business deduction. Sebab nak buat soalan ni, kita kena habis both business income and also business deduction. So for today kita hanya ada business income, the deduction belum. So yang the tricky part is the deduction part, not the business income part. Business income tak ada apa pun, biasanya kita terus ambil dari profit before tax je of the company. Sekejap, I show you this one before we move on to the deduction tu. Salah. Okay. Very long question. Tapi sebab ada solution sekali dekat sini. Alright, here. So now for today kita buat business income. But for business or taxation of companies, what you will see later on is actually financial statement. Alright, so here we have Subang Electronics Berhad, Malaysia resident, blah blah blah. Sales less cost of sales. So this is the financial statement here. So sale minus cost or minus all the expenses. Dia ada net profit before tax. Okay, in accounting, net profit before tax here is correct. Okay, from accounting perspective, this is correct. But for taxation perspective, this is not correct. Sebab if you look at here, all the expenses here ni, in accounting, whatever expenses you incur for the business, you tolak je sebagai expenses. But for taxation, tak boleh macam tu. Because some of these expenses ni, tengok penalty dah lah. Kita buat account for rental tu, if ada penalty, duit keluar kan. So in accounting, whatever duit you keluar for whatever purpose, you kena tolak. So untuk penalty, lambat bayar quick rent contohnya. Penalty. In accounting, kita tolak lah dekat sini penalty kan. Tapi untuk taxation, dalam rental income, penalty tu kita boleh tolak tak? Tak boleh kan? Sebab penalty tu is not allowed. Kita kata non-allowable expenses. So here ni, not all the expenses in accounting, allowed in accounting, is allowed in taxation. So kita kena buat another calculation for business taxation. So untuk accounting nombor ni dah betul dah. Okay, tapi kita nak tahulah because if you look at the number ni, contohnya cost of sales termasuk donation. Nampak tak? Cost jualan dia. Dia donate barang dekat approved institution. Untuk income tax ini dikira sebagai donation nanti. So this is donation kan. And then warehouse were broken into. Okay, ada insurance recovery. Ada income, okay, ada rental. Ada dividend. Ada habis kontrak dapat compensation for breach of contract. Ada remuneration. Ada legal fees. So semua legal fees ni in accounting boleh je tolak. For income tax purposes tak semua ni boleh tolak. Advertising, entertainment expenses. I even share with you the public ruling for entertainment expenses. Alright, so nampak entertainment expenses. For business, for accounting, okay fine. You boleh tolak je whatever you spend. Tolak je as the expenses for the business kan. Okay. Panjang lah repair and maintenance lah apa semua bla bla bla. So what we have to do untuk kira income tax liability ni, nampak tak? Kita start balik dengan net profit before tax. But I expect you to ada dua column macam ni. Apa yang kita kena tambah balik, apa yang kita kena tolak balik. Based on the information that we have. Okay, so contoh tadi kan, cost of sales tu donation. Donation tak boleh, kena tambah balik kat sini donation. Theft of stock. barang kena curi, tak boleh tolak contoh macam okay, rent from Indonesian property, kena tolak. Dividend pun kena tolak sebab tak kena tax kan, tax exempted. So income yang you dapat ni dah termasuk dalam sini. So with the adjustment kita kena tolak balik lah, whatever yang not taxable kita kena tolak. Disabled employee salary kena tolak. Yang kita tolak ni semua is the one that is not taxable lah. Nampak tak all the adjustment that you have to do, bla bla bla, sampailah sini. Mana adjusted income ni. So kalau kita tengok soalan Vincent Chin tadi, jawapan kita dah terus sampai ke adjusted income ni. Tak naklah macam tu because you need to know how do you derive at adjusted income. Okay, and then ini go back to the format. Kita ada topik 3 hari tu, the chargeable income format tu. Nanti later, I think next week lah masa kita buat business deduction nanti. And when we want to compute this business taxation ni, kita go back to the format balik. Because once you have the adjusted income, tolak capital allowance, dapat business loss, tambah ada income, tolak donation, baru dapat chargeable income. And please remember, for a business there is no relief. Dia habis dekat sini. Chargeable income dia ialah total income dia. Compared to individual, total income is not chargeable income lagi. Total income, tolak relief, baru dapat chargeable income. But for a company, there will be no tax relief macam personal. So tax payable dia at this figure. Alright, so soalan ni saya share bukan apa sebab dia ada notes. All the explanation semua ada kat sini. So if you wonder kenapa dia buat macam tu, kenapa dia buat macam ni, so the explanation is here. Alright, any question tak for today? Sebab ini kira tergantung lagi lah. I just have explained to you the business income but not the business deduction. So next week kita buat business deduction. Any question? Esok nak exam kan, so hari ni tak ada quiz lah. Minggu ni tak ada quiz lah. After exam nanti kita ada quiz lagi. So please be ready for your exam tomorrow. Start at 9. I give you 1.5 hours. Ini memang tak boleh tunggu masa banyak-banyak lah sebabnya I think I have to stick to time. Kalau saya buat pun maybe sampai, I don't know, kalau saya kontrol masa lama nanti soalan bocor pula kan. Some dah jawab pukul 9, some baru nak jawab pukul 10 So please be ready at 9. Saya belum upload lagi soalan So you have 1.5 hours to answer. Multiple choice question je, senang je. And don't forget to submit the draft for the group assignment tu yang belum submit. Yang mana yang saya reject tu you don't have to resubmit You just update according to the apa nanti tu? According to the comment that I posted tu. So maybe I need you to resubmit the draft nanti together masa you hantar the final report nanti. Okay? You have until Sunday, Sunday 25 April 11 PM. So make sure those of you yang belum hantar the draft, kena hantar before Sunday lah. 11 PM
Tanya boleh?
Ya.
Yang draft tu, apa tu? Yang proof tu sekalikan dalam satu dokumen
Ya. Letak je sekali. Maknanya dekat depan tu ada your main point, lepas tu you screenshot the conversation semua tu masuk sekali dalam tu. Satu dokumen je.
Oh, lepas tu resubmit kemudian.
Yang you all dah submit kan? Group you all dah submit kan? Dah submit tak apa. Nanti yang tu update apa yang saya komen tu nanti hantar together dengan the final draft.
Okay, terima kasih.
Alright. Ada lagi soalan? Tak ada If tak ada, okay. Thank you for today and I will see you next week. So please be ready for your exam, for your midterm exam tomorrow lah And good luck for tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Doktor.
Thank you,
Take
Prof.
care.
Take care.
Thank you, Doktor.
Bye.